Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Well, we have a wonderful episode lined up for you today. I'm your host, Lance Halston. With me, as always, co-host
Beej.
Yes, sir. Today, we're going to go over the ancient, ancestral, primitive, beautiful art of Mongolian throat singing.
Not only will you be transported back to the time of bison and woolly mammoths, but as well as the societal standard of anarcho-privatism.
I believe after listening to this podcast, you will want to adorn yourself with nothing but a loincloth and go out and hunt some woolly mammoths with a bone spear and a couple of rocks. You know, back in the olden days, back pre-1950s Karl Marxism.
Amen to that, brother.
Thank
That's
you,
all
sir.
the dream.
It is. All right, we got a clip to bring up for you here to lend yourself an ear and take a good listen.
Let us bless you with the beautiful sounds of this ancient culture. Now, as we watch this clip, remember to transport yourself into this time.
Think about the cave,
The fire,
the smell,
the tribe,
the grease on the walls, the paintings,
those paintings that depict every moment of your life.
the shadows, every moment you ever know, the danger, the fear, the pure bliss. There's a mammoth charging you. You take out your spear, your knife, you hewn them yourself. It charges you. You look at it. Look at this majestic beast right in the eye. Stab it right through its powerful, beautiful heart.
That's a lot of damage!
You take its life. You thank it for its sacrifice.
You feed the tribe.
You feed your family. That's the dream. That's what it's all about. Well, I can see that you, as well as me, are already transported. Is that right, Beej?
Yes, sir.
I would believe so. Well, now, let's dive deep into the history, the origins, and all the different styles of Mongolian throat singing. Let's break it down on a cellular level. All right. Well, first up, Mongolian throat singing is actually, the correct term is Tuvan throat singing. It is a variant of overtone singing practiced and created by the herds people of Tuva, Siberia. This is it's where the singer sings one extremely low bass pitch and simultaneously produces varying pitches bouncing over those over that bass extremely low pitch.
Now, the pure origin of this not only can be originated to what my co-host just said, but as well as those primitivistic feelings.
Absolutely.
The hunt, the gather,
Exactly.
the surviving and only having a lifespan of 4 years.
I remember a time me and Bill Clinton, we were up in the high Sierras. We were standing knee deep in cold, crystal clear water. We saw this trout swim by. We didn't have a fishing pole at this time. We had only our bare hands, and Bill had a stick.
Now, what Bill did next was
He saw the fish. He spoke to it, not with words, not with sounds. He said to the fish, "May I take you for fuel?" And you know what the fish said? Not this wasn't with sounds. This was with his eyes, with emotion and understanding.
With a telepathic connection between the two.
It's more primal, telepathic. But the fish stopped swimming, gave his life to Bill Clinton. And we had him for lunch. He was a delicious fish.
Bill Clinton. Something else. He
He's
convinced
something else.
a fish that he had never met before. No
Not once in his life.
connection.
Never seen before in his life.
And he talked this wild trout.
This beautiful, majestic animal. Any seasoned fisherman such as myself or Beach here will tell you how difficult it is to talk a fish into giving over its life for you. You can lure it in with bait, food, potential mates, whatever you particularly enjoy. But it is extremely difficult. And there's nothing quite like getting a fish on the end of that line, or spear, or telepathic connection.
Having the most insane, primal, joyous event a fisherman can experience
Absolutely.
is when that fish swims up to you and lays its life down.
Knee deep in the crystal clear water of the high Sierras.
Now let me just transport you there. You're
That's
in the
creek.
water. You're in the water. You're sitting there. Trees creaking. Birds making noises. Those trout, you got those little telepathic things.
They're just flashes now. You see a dark flash, a little bit of a shadow, but you don't see much of a fish. Because the water, the refraction in the water, light bending.
That's just how sight works. But
It's a whole other world down there.
The fish is still there. Now,
Just because you can't see the fish doesn't mean it's not there.
you establish a connection. You gain its trust through your telepathic connection.
Absolutely.
Your hospitality in its own mind. Mm-hmm. You gain its trust.
It's like a Motel 6 in your cranium.
But it's one of those nice ones with free coffee.
Free Wi-Fi, free continental breakfast.
And the
Complimentary
doors locked
continental breakfast.
with locks on the doors.
With locks on the doors. Actual working locks.
Yeah. And you don't have a bunch of lot lizards kind of
Exactly.
walking around.
No, not at all.
It's like the nice one where the soccer family kind of stays when their hotel reservation doesn't work out.
Exactly.
They have flowers on the doors.
Mm-hmm. Flowers on the doors.
But imagine a fish going into that. You know
your
how
mind.
safe he would feel in a Motel 6?
So comforted. So comforted. Beyond compare. Now, back to, we got a little bit carried away there, didn't we, Beach?
Oh, just a little
Just a little bit.
Bill Clinton really gets you.
He's a tremendous man. Tremendous man. Of course, this was about 1965, so pre everything. But Mongolian throat singing, actually Tuvan throat singing, it was developed in the Tuvan region of Siberia. The low-lying fields and valleys of luscious Mother Serbia created a perfect environment for the beautiful voices to carry for many miles. Some practicers of the art have even claimed to have attracted deer and other wildlife with their ancestral serenades. Now, much like the fish, Bill didn't sing at all. See, the mind of a fish is much different than the mind of a deer. It's in a completely different dimension, another world. A deer has a multi-part cranium, but as the fish only has, a fish brain.
Now these fish brains,
They're although tiny.
although they're small in size, but listen, body to brain ratio, these are some of the smartest, most cautious animals you can think of.
That's
now
absolutely correct.
when I tell you, you have to be real smart to not only lure them in with telepathicness,
Oh yeah,
but to convince them to lay down their own life for you,
just
so
for
you
a little
can
bit of
eat.
lunch.
And not only for Bill Clinton to do it.
Exactly.
This is otherworldly, unheard of.
Unheard
Never gonna
of.
happen again.
Not at all.
Really powerful message there.
Sometimes when I'm going through a bad day, I lay down, I close my eyes, and I think about that moment. I think about the joy on Bill's face I think about the fish. I think about the fish, how it pierced that beautiful water, that beautiful cold, clear water.
The pure bliss that me, Bill, and the fish experienced once it was finally raised above the water and brought into our world, our domain.
Exactly. You know what Bill said?
What did Bill say?
He said to me, I caught a fish.
Now, Bill Clinton, those words from such a powerful man.
Mr. President, if you're listening to this, please, let's go again. Let's do it again. Let's go telepathic fishing in the high Sierras once again. And we'll invite my good buddy Steve Harvey. He's actually a very proficient Mongolian throat singer. So we'll go throat singing fishing instead of telepathic fishing. We'll take you out to some good spots. We found a new spot. We'll go back to the old spot, relive that blissful moment of pure joy and ancestral happiness. Boy, that was amazing. Back to Mongolian throat singing. Yes.
Not only is Mongolian throat singing embedded within our very
DNA.
Yes.
Some historical figures would argue that same region, Pangea, when all the continents, they disappeared, that same region is where most of mankind originated, whether it's the Garden of Eden that you believe in, or the kebab, or the 2 billion-year-old skeleton of what's her name, Lucy, that they found in mid-Africa, in North Africa near the Congo.
How'd they know her name?
They named her.
She had a name tag?
I believe so.
Now, moving on from that little sidetrack there, back to Mongolian throat singing. When this type of music was really introduced to the modern world in the past 100 years, maybe?
Think about Genghis Khan, really. It was really popular during his time. He brought it forth into the public eye. And, first off, the most popular style of Tuvan throat singing is known as kume, or semen.
Sir, how's that spelled?
Xee, but the E's are upside down. MEN, but the N is backwards and with a little swoop up above the N. Now, kume is traditionally a softer sounding style with the fundamental or drone or extremely low bass note, usually in the low to mid range of the singer's normal voice. Now, in this style, usually 2 or 3 harmonics can be heard between 1 and 2 octaves above the fundamental, right? Above that bass layer, correct? Now, in kume, the abdomen is fairly relaxed. There is less tension on the larynx than in other styles. And pitch manipulation, going high, low, whoa, is manipulated through a combination of movements of the lips, throat, tongue, or jaw. Now, singing in this beautiful, beautiful style, it gives the impression to the listener and to the singer, all who are blessed by its caressed ears, especially the deer that have been attracted. And I believe that. I've seen it firsthand. You can attract animals, mammals, fish, deer, with this beautiful, beautiful style. It's supposed to give the impression of wind swirling among rocks, waterfalls, beautiful nature sounds.
These nature innuendos, along with this music and Mongolian throat singing, can this be applied to Native American lifestyle?
It could.
Does their shaman practice this, or do they have a different version?
Well, the shaman is Indian, Asian Indian, not Native American. And
what about the rain dance, Nate? I want my corn to grow well.
Who doesn't want their corn to grow well? The throat singing could be another form of a rain dance. Yeah, they would sing it over their herds, and the herds, they would be blessed, and they would grow in multitude. In the springtime, mothers would give birth to where normally it was one baby, one fawn, one deer. They would give birth to 3 or 4 all at the
That's a
same
lot
time.
of damage.
Exactly. The womb of these mothers became instantly 10 times more fertile. It was quite another experience, otherworldly.
That's a lot of deer meat.
Now,
that
now,
can
now, me and
sustain-
Beej here, we're gonna end the episode, but we would like to give our shot at Mongolian throat singing. So go ahead and play that first clip. We got to get a good bass tune going. Start her at 0. We'll give this a shot here.
Yo,
Yo, way, yo, so, way, so, way, yo, way, so, yo, so, way, so, way, yo. Obviously, it takes many, many years to perfect. We're just amateurs. This is our second time trying it today, ever, actually. So, with that, thank you for listening. Thank you for letting us come in and have a picnic in your ears.
Thank you for letting us introduce you to Mongolian throat singing.
I hope it blesses you. I hope you can share this blessed information with somebody else, family, loved one.
Hopefully you join us again on this amazing podcast.
Thank you very much. I am Lance Halston,
And I am Beej.
and this is the Paraquat Productions Podcast.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day. Stay classy.